Welcome back to another light review. I have the Olight Warrior X Pro sent in via Ruyu and Bantac for a test. I'll have a quick look at the specs on the back. You'll notice we've still got two power levels, but they've increased the range. You've also got a slightly higher output and you have a larger battery. Do the normal unboxing. You'll see that the standard packaging that we've had with previous Olights, pretty easy to get into, and there's your instructions on the front, just about charging and removing the protective tab. Let's start off with a light because it comes in the holster, and you notice compared to the previous version that had the stem of the torch actually coming out the top, whereas with this one it's a complete cover, it flips over, so that's kind of down to taste whether or not you're going to prefer that. And you've still got the hole at the bottom. The material on this is quite thick and they've added a magnet to it, and that's also quite secure, so that will hold it in place. I was concerned whether that would be strong enough, but it does seem to be pretty strong, and I quite like this holster because it has that harder shell on the outside to protect it, and on the top you'll see you also have a hole there. Doesn't matter if you want to put it head up or head down, it will fit in both ways, although probably better head down. Onto the measurements and weights, I've put them on the screen for you, and a comparison with the previous model. You'll notice it has grown a little bit in size and a little bit in weight, but not hugely. You will notice that the head is a bit flatter rather than angling out like the original. We've still got that same stainless steel bezel, and that's got a bit of an edge to it. It's not sharp, but it will definitely be able to punch through glass if you want it to. The base on this, they've added those raised points around the sides, and the three of them. Personally, I preferred the original design, and you'll see marking there for the battery direction. They don't specify the LED on this Olight, but I can guess it's probably the same as the previous one. Now we'll unscrew the base or tail cap, and this has another one of the custom Olight batteries, unfortunately, and I say that because I just prefer to be able to use normal batteries, 5000 milliamp hour, so high capacity. They are good quality batteries, protected, but I would have liked an option to have used your own, and you'll see on the inside contact points there at the top and on the base cap. I did try my own batteries with this, with spacers, but I couldn't get it to work, so you are stuck with the custom battery on this, unfortunately. My main problem isn't so much it's a custom battery, it's that you can't use your own batteries at all with the light, and that is something which I don't think buyers will like. There's the boxes for the other items, and I'll show you those briefly. We have the faster magnetic charging cable. You can see the red on that to indicate it can go up to 2 amps, and it still secures quite strongly on the base of the torch, perhaps not quite as good as the previous one which had a flatter edge. Pleased to report you do get a wrist strap with this, and it's quite thick, the material on the loop area, so that should stay in place quite nicely. Ruyu also bundle a battery box for you if you want to store a cell in that. The next item is the tactical ring, and this has that thick silicone or sort of hard silicone around it with a metal aluminium inside, and so to fit this what you want to do is take the other tactical ring off. You'll have to take the clip off as well, and then just push it into place firmly down and then screw the base cap on. I quite like this tactical ring myself because it just feels a little bit more comfortable versus the one that comes on it out of the factory. Now I've been using this out in the wet and it still grips quite nicely even when it's damp, so that's one of the nicer features that I like about this light in terms of the build quality and the design. Just show you refitting, make sure you line up the tabs. You'll see there's a marking on the body and on the ring to slot that in place. The idea with that is that it stops the ring rotating around. In terms of the build quality, it feels very solid just like the previous version, and I do quite like the overall feel and construction. Very meaty feel on this light. UI is going to be very simple, it's just a case of quick press. If you want to go into the normal lighting modes, the half press, or if you longer press, that takes you into the momentary. You have that 2-stage switch, and it's fairly easy to feel which position you're at. Just takes a little bit of time to get used to. The only thing that's missing though is a strobe mode, and that is a strange omission for a torch of this type. Here's the user guide on screen for you. You do have the vibration function for the low battery, and that's quite a neat little feature. I find that I quite like that. Pretty short manual because there's not too much to see. With those raised contact points, it does mean it's not quite as stable as a flat base would be, and it's strong enough, the magnet, to hold it only when the light is facing down. Charging speed test, I got just under 1.9 amps and termination was fine at 4.18 volts. Let's move on to the Beamshots. You'll notice the warm tint on this light, neutral white at 300 lumens is still fairly decent range out of this. And then we move up to the 2250 lumens. You'll see if I point it down the end of the street, it just flies down there. Although it's not a huge difference from the previous model. Nightcore EC30 is a mixed beam, just to give you a comparison on that. So we'll roll on with some more beam shots now, and I'll give you a summary at the end of the video. Couple of thoughts on the Warrior X Pro. Overall, I do have mixed feelings on this light. Whilst I like the beam profile and the tint, it's got quite a nice spread on it, a little bit extra range over the previous one, and there are some improvements, particularly in terms of the higher capacity cell, and you also have quicker charging with the newer magnetic cable. There are also some areas that they haven't really changed much from the previous version, and you are now stuck with using just the custom batteries in the light, and that to me is an obvious downside, and I would find that quite annoying myself. If you've got any thoughts on this light or you have used one, do drop a comment below. Be interested to hear what you are thinking about this one, and thank you for watching the video.